Hey everybody, it's Jared, also known as the Okami Ningen. You can find me at twitch.tv/theokaminingen. I have another magic altar story for you. This one, I'm skipping way ahead into the most recent ones because they're still fresh in my memory. So this is from last week. I went to Grand Prix Chiba. Unfortunately, I work on Fridays and Saturday nights, so I wasn't able to enter any of the tournament. I just took the night bus Saturday night, got there Sunday morning, waited in line for a total of about 7 hours, and then went directly back. People thought I was crazy, but totally worth it to get these altars and these stories. It was really fun. So I was the first in line for Alayna Danner, and she's fairly new if you don't recognize the name. Only, I think, one of the most recent sets is when she got her first artwork on Magic cards. But she's also married to a Wizards employee, and they're both super chill. I talked to them while she was, or I talked to her mostly when she was drawing or doing the altar, and then he came over every once in a while. She's originally from Wisconsin, I want to say. I'm from St. Louis, so middle of the U.S. Talked a little bit about that. She asked me a lot of questions about living in Japan. Best part of our conversation was when we were both kind of like shit talking Wizards and how like they suck at like promoting Magic as like an esport or whatever, and like they just don't get it. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully I'm not gonna get her in trouble for this. Anyway, when I handed the card to get altered, she was really happy to see that it was in English, because apparently Japanese cards have this kind of like finish that makes it difficult for like the Sharpie or paint pens to like stick. So now that I know that, I'm pretty much only going to get English cards altered from here on out. Anyway, the reason I needed this one in English is because of the name. So I handed the card to Supreme Will. She's like, what would you like on this? I'm like, could you draw Diana Ross on it? She's kind of looking at me. She didn't get it at first. And for those of you who also don't get it, Diana Ross was the lead singer. I don't know if there was a lead singer, but she was the singer in a group called the Supremes. So Supreme Will. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, I think I could do that. And it turned out amazing. Because as you can see, I don't know who's holding this staff or whatever, but the ball in the middle became like the microphone. It's really cool. She didn't have so much like ability to shade or, you know, many different colors. So even though Diana Ross is black, it's hard to tell, I guess, in this picture. But still really cool. This one's definitely going in my Empress Galena EDH deck, which eventually, once I can get a hold of the artist who does Empress Galena, or maybe the concept artist of Tamatoa from Moana, that's what it's going to be. Because, the entire deck's going to be shiny, right? And Empress Galena steals things, right? Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so flavorful. Anyway, the next artist I went to sit in line for was Adam Paquette. It was a pretty long line. I think he was like the most popular one there. He's done a lot of the more iconic stuff, some of the more recently powerful cards, a lot of the fast lands from the Kaladesh sets, and he went on break around 01, and so I was like, oh well, good thing I have food in my backpack. I won't, it'll last me until he gets back from break. But they gave us these cards so we can keep our place in line. That was like super awesome. You guys need to go to Japanese Grand Prix. They're amazing. So well run as far as, well, in terms of the artist section. I don't know about actually entering the tournament, Anyway, I get back, go up to him, and show him the Freyalise Llanowar's Fury that I want him to alter. And he's like, yeah, what would you like on it? And first he had to make sure that I knew that his altars were basically $100, 10,000 yen, right? And so I was like, well, how familiar are you with furries? And he's like, as far as I know that they are a thing, I know about that. And I was like, well, do you think you could make her Freyalise Llanowar's furry? He's like, how sexual do you want it to be? Is essentially what he asked me. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be like sexual or whatever. Just like dress her up, So put it like maybe a guy in a furry suit in the back or something, like whatever you would like to do, right? you know, I gave him like complete creative licensing on it. Showed him a picture of like a furry from like Google Images, right, or at least a fox costume or whatever, and it turned out pretty good, right? And he even changed the name to Fraley's Lanore's Furry, so that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's quite simple, and yeah, not sure I'm going to be getting an altar from Adam Paquette again if it's going to cost me $100 every time to get that. Seemed like a nice guy. Didn't really talk much, but you know, he's probably really tired. He's probably the most popular guy the whole weekend. But yeah, all right, that was Adam Paquette's. Last one I stood in line for was Howard Lyon. Lyon? I don't know. Anyway, I had earlier talked to, I sent an email, you know, seeing if he was going to be there, and if he was going to be, you know, doing altars and stuff like that. And his wife responded, Shari. She's super chill also. Talked to both of them while I was waiting. And they had this system where, like, she would ask people, you know, what would you like? And then she would, like, you know, take the note of it, put it on this thing, so he would be, like, ready for it. And it was moving like that. Oh, it was so good. While I was waiting in line, he finished up, like, an airbrush altar on Nissa, Steward of Elements, and she shows it, and this thing is amazing. You're gonna see it on my card or whatever, but like, you guys need to get an airbrush altar done by Howard Lyon. Oh my god. That's all I can say about it. I hope the camera can do it justice. I'm not sure it will, but you have to trust me. If you go there, you see Howard Lyon at an event, get an airbrush altar done. It's only like $20, which is a steal for how awesome it is. Anyway. So I go up there, you know, introduce myself, you know, show her the card I want to get altered, right? It's Stoic Builder, right? So not a very popular card, probably, you know, to get altered or even signed. And so she's like, sure, what would you like? And I'm like, well, I'd like to get this Pokemon altered on it. The Pokemon being Timber. If you guys don't know, Stoic Builder is basically holding a, you know, pair of logs or whatever that he had just cut down, I'm guessing. And Timber, the Pokemon, always carries around a big piece of timber, right? And the positioning of like the shot that Google Images gave me from one of the TV shows matched up perfectly with Stoic Builder. Howard Lyon even mentioned his stuff and goes, that's like perfect position. That's amazing. I could definitely do that. And so this is how it ended up. And then I hope you can, well, so unfortunately the humidity I think kind of got to it. But I'm hoping you can see like around the edges, the airbrushing that it did. It looks so good in person. It really does. You guys have to get it. And it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. Again, both of them were like really cool people. Really happy to meet them. Unfortunately, this is the last international GP that they're going to, so I'm going to have to wait until next year in order to get another airbrushed altar from Howard Lyon. Hopefully he'll come back to Japan. Please come back to Japan, Howard Lyon. I really want another airbrushed altar. Anyway, yeah, I got those. Really happy with them. Again, yeah, a little overpriced on Adam Paquette's one, but other than that, it's still funny to have Fraley's Lanore's Furry. I'm glad I have that. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.